Transportation is a daily routine in our lives. It's how we get to class every day, how we go to the grocery store, how we visit our families for the holidays, how we get to work. It's how we get to where we need to go. But how often do we think about the cost of our transportation? The money we spend on gas, how gas affects the environment, how does our transportation affect other people? In this video, we hope to explore and think critically about people's transportation practices. While walking is a feasible form of transportation around Colgate, we often don't give it a second thought to hop on the cruiser or use a car to go run an errand. But how would we do these things if it was 200 years ago?
Where are you from?
Japan.
From Chiodo, New York.
I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, but now I live in Hamilton, in the village of Hamilton.
So I live on University Ave.
How do you get to Colgate from home?
I take a few flights.
Generally, one of my parents will drive me.
I drive.
It's about 10 minutes from campus walking.
How do you think you would have gotten to Colgate in 1819?
I don't think I would have gotten to Colgate. Maybe a boat.
I imagine by horse.
I would not have gotten here in 1819 from Trinidad.
I'm guessing walking.
What about 1919?
Did they have airplanes then? Probably still boat.
Probably still by horse unless my family was, fortunate enough to own a car.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Probably the same.
These aren't easy questions because we often don't think about our transportation practices or how much transportation has been innovated over the last 200 years. So how has transportation changed over history? What are the costs of our transportation today? Transportation has evolved immensely over the last 200 years, from records in 1819 showing Colgate students walking over 100 miles to get to campus, to relying on horse and buggy, to the rise of trains, to the dominance of automobiles, to the innovation of airplanes. Our ability to travel greater distances faster has expanded our ability to reach farther corners of the world, to do deeper research and to bring more international students to Colgate. Yet this increasingly globalized world has had costs that we often forget to think about. Our increasing reliance on non-renewable energy in transportation has had many costs on the environment. But doing away with the time efficiency of cars and planes to take us where we need to go would be almost impossible to sacrifice in this day and age.
Do you consider the environmental, economic, and social impacts of transportation when you are traveling places?
When it's like long distance travel, no. And I don't drive, so I take public transport most of the time. So I'm not consciously thinking about it.
Yeah, it blows my mind to think about the sheer amount of gas that gets wasted just sitting in traffic. It's not good.
Yes, all the time. Think about it, firstly in terms of my carbon emissions, in terms of the economic piece, I think about the money that I'm spending on gas, and the social implication for me, I think a lot about justice and equity.
Yeah, someone's generally aware of environmental issues. It's hard not to think about what the consequences of, say, driving versus walking are when you're doing it. That doesn't mean I walk all the time, or it doesn't mean I bike all the time, but it's certainly on my mind.
These environmental, economic, and social aspects form the three pillars of sustainability. While sustainability awareness is increasing across the globe recently, many people still lack the proper understanding and daily consciousness of these pillars in regards to their transportation decisions. Environmentally, modernized modes of transportation emit carbon into the atmosphere. Worldwide technological advancements in transportation throughout the 19th and 20th centuries allowed for more energy-efficient travel. However, it was not until the 2000s when global awareness rose about the environmental harms of using fossil fuels that Colgate began to intentionally focus on increasing their environmental sustainability. Economically, there are costs with the construction, purchase, and maintenance of transportation options. In the mid-1900s, Colgate students on financial assistance scholarships were not permitted to have automobiles on campus because one was considered financially well off if one could afford the price and upkeep of a car. Even though eligible students at that time had to pay a registration fee for their automobile, the cost ranged from $10 to $20, nowhere near the cost of construction for the campus roads and parking lots, not to mention the pavement of the roads downtown that lead to the remote area of Hamilton. Socially, there are personal concerns about the time efficiency and safety of transportation. Over 37,000 people die in road crashes each year in the United States. This is attributed to the dependency people have on cars. In the early 1900s, cars became the predominant mode of transportation for Americans, allowing for more freedom, flexibility, and privacy in personal travel. Colgate followed this national trend, and every few years in the mid-1900s, the university changed their automobile policy to allow more students access to cars on campus. When deciding how to travel, the economic or social pillars are almost always prioritized over the others because often we are not properly informed about all of transportation's impacts. In the last decade, Colgate has been trying to change their transportation practices to focus more on the environmental pillar by monitoring University transportation and setting up programs like the Cruiser and Green Bikes. This environmental progress in transportation is happening all over the world, and we can continue to evolve to be more sustainable as awareness increases and technology advances. The next time you travel somewhere, you may not be able to change what your environmental impact is, but we hope that this gets you thinking about your everyday travel and the different economic, social, and environmental aspects of your transportation decisions.